Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Kevin again with Yerkit Racing. We're back out in the garage again today for another one on the Camaro build behind me. We're picking up where we left off in part one of the rear mount radiator setup. Over in that one, if you missed it, we just went through, we cut the trunk out, mocked the stock one up in place, tried to see how much room we had, kind of get an idea for what we needed to do. We had to end up ordering some parts and pieces, trying to get everything to work out like we needed it. I think we have most of it now, and hopefully all of it, but finally they're coming in. So we're going to pick right back up where we left off, see if we can figure out how to get this thing where we want it, finish mounting it. That's the game plan. Let's jump in and get it. If you haven't done so yet, go over to the website here, check us out. We got some merch up that'll really help us out. You know, small budget here, so every little bit helps. I really appreciate you guys, all that you do, just watching and commenting, you know, liking the videos, helping share it to everybody. It's a big help. So thank you all so much for that. I'll put the web address down here at the bottom for the website if you want to go check it out. Like I said, we got t-shirts, hats, hoodies, stuff like that. Go over, check it out. Anyway, we're going to jump in, guys. Let's get it. We got the car behind me here. We're doing a rear radiator setup in it. We're going to be running some 1 1/4" aluminum tubing back to the rear of the car with some dash 16 fittings on it. We need to be able to snake that through a little bit to get it where we need it to line up and fit underneath the car. So without a way to really bend it, our only other option is pie cuts. That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to jump right in, guys. Let's get it. Alright guys, so here we have it, one batch of 20 pie cuts. Kind of give you an idea of how it goes together. Smash the small ends up to start making your turn. 5 of them will make a 45 and 10 of them will make a 90. So there you go. Hopefully you guys can see that. It's kind of hard to hold them together without them coming apart, but that's your 5. That'll be a 45 off of the, you know, the first cut here is obviously another angle, so that'll be like that. So that's your 45. Pretty straightforward. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna tack a few up on this piece that I need to do for this project I'm working on, and then I'll show you guys before we go. Alright guys, so there it is. We have 10 of our pieces tacked together. All of our pie cuts worked out like we wanted them to. The 10 make our 90-degree angle just like it was supposed to. So now you can see the way we have it clamped on the table at this 90-degree corner here, that it did in fact make our 90. And now we'll be able to run a straight piece up either side of the line and we'll be good to roll. So I hope this has made sense about the pie cuts. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video so far. We're going to go ahead now and weld around the seams here and get that piece completely made. And then we got a couple more to make for the car over there before we can finish everything up. So we're going to keep at it. Alright, so unfortunately we lost the video footage of actually welding this thing together. But as you can see, that's what we turned out with. Really happy with it. Could use some practice with the aluminum, being more consistent with the welds for sure. But all in all, like I said, we're happy with it, so that is a win. What a pain in the butt, guys. We fought this thing tooth and nail to get this out. Kind of a little bit my fault for the way I was trying to do it. We knew we had to cut the rear section out anyway, so I was hoping with that, you know, being gone, I would have enough room just to knock the straps out of it, slide it out. Didn't actually work that way. We had some bars that ran, you know, across for the panhard bar and stuff that really needed to be dropped. The exhaust needed to be dropped, so hit a few snags there, but we finally got it. I'm going to take you back inside now. I'm going to show you kind of where we're at. I threw the new radiator that I showed you earlier, I threw that back in the back, and we're getting it mocked up. Alright, so back inside, that's our new radiator sitting down in there. It looks like it's really flat, but it's slightly tilted up on this back edge back here. So it's kind of sloped down this way, pointing out a little bit. Now we just have to figure out exactly how we want to go about mounting it. I think what I'm going to do is take a piece of aluminum tube and weld a square flat plate to each side so that I can bolt it to the frame rail over here and over there, have it run straight across, and then make some little mounts to come down off of that to grab the bolt locations on the radiator. That's kind of my plan. I think that's where I'm going to go with it. On the back side, there's these flanges over there. Hopefully you can see that on the back of the frame rails. I think I'm going to try to do some kind of mount off of that on each side to catch the very back side of it that's up inside the bumper there. So that's my plan. I'm going to go over now and cut a section of tube and go ahead and cut our flats out, see if I can get that one pipe welded up and made up, and at least get this back end mounted. We can start playing with the other end of it. Okay guys, we got our piece of pipe cut to length. We got our angle cut to the size we wanted, the holes drilled in it. One will go on each end like so. As you can tell, I really need to get me a top built for my big table that I have over here. I need to get a top made for that. That would be a big help. Right now, as it is, we just kind of have this old cart with a piece of sheet metal laid on top, and I'm kind of using that as my, my makeshift welding table for right now. So I really need to get a bigger one because it'd be nice to be able to clamp everything in place, tack it all at one time. But as it is, we have to, we'll clamp this in, tack it up, flip it around, clamp the other end, tack that up. But we're making do. I'm going to go ahead, jump in now, get that together. We're going to end up running nut certs in the car over there, in the frame rails to be able to bolt this up to it. And yeah, that's how we're going to secure this one. Alright guys, so yeah, that's it. We got the bar in. You can see how it fits there now. The idea is to come off with some tabs down to the bolt holes where the with the radiator. Put some rubber isolators between the tabs and the actual radiator itself. Kind of dampen some of the vibrations, but that should do us pretty good right there. I'm going to come off now and try to go off of these holes that I showed you before at the back of the frame rails and kind of come up towards this top side of the radiator up here and do our mounts that way for that one. But we're heading in the right direction, looking good, happy with it. Let's keep going.
Alright guys, I really hope you're enjoying the video. Just want to take a second to invite you over to Yerkit Racing Spread Shop, where you can find all sorts of merchandise. You name it, it's probably in there. So go over, find you something you like, take a picture of it in action and send it over to us at yerkit_offroad@yahoo.com. I think it'd be a really cool thing if we could include some of these pictures at the end of our videos and share it with the rest of the community. Every order you place on this site is greatly appreciated, and it really goes a long ways to make sure that we're able to continue to bring you the content just like this.
Alright, so we found the angle on the radiator. It's right about 8.5 degrees is what it's sitting in there right now. I think that's where we want it. So we're setting it up where these brackets here will match that angle once it's all said and done. Got everything kind of clamped down. Just got to tack it in place and kind of give it another test fit, see if it's what we want. I think it will be, and then we'll keep going. So hopefully we'll hit it on this first try. No guarantees, but hopefully. Alright, full transparency, I did not get it right on the first time. I had to cut my tacks back off of each one. I actually rotated the main tube the wrong direction. I needed to rotate that way so it would be angled kind of downward with the slanted radiator. Alright, little mistake. We're correcting it. Alright. Looks like that should line up pretty good. Just got to come in here now, drill our holes out in these, and finish weld the brackets on it. And we should be in pretty good shape. Cool. Alright guys, so we got everything fully welded all the way around. Should have plenty of strength. Got up inside, kind of a little tough to get in there where that groove meets, but we did it. I still need to brush it up. Got a little bit of black soot on it, but all in all, pretty happy with it. Yeah, I don't think it'll go anywhere. Should be good. Alright guys, we got this bar back down in here that we made. The next thing I got to figure out is how we're going to do the front half up here. I know I want to use probably these as mounting points, these plates that the old bumper support used to mount to. But I think I also need to get I got to get a spot for the fuel cell made in here, so I'm thinking that I'm going to use part of the structure, or the same structure that we're building to hold the radiator will also hold the fuel cell. So I'm going to grab that and throw it in here real quick, see what it looks like. Alright, I think we got an idea. I'm going to go over to the bench and try to lay everything out. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is actually make the tray for the fuel tank to sit in. I need to cut two 15-inch pieces and then cut a couple of 10-inch pieces to go between it. Okay, so cut our rails. I also cut these little extension pieces so we can make the pads a little wider for where the bolts will go through. I just got to go ahead. You can see how I'm going to do it. I got it laid out here. I just got to tack these on and then weld them. Same thing, got to do both sides, and then the two rails will be done. I'm going to plan to brace it down, kind of make this all like one removable subframe section. That the radiator will hang off the bottom of it, and our fuel cell will be bolted down to the top of it. So that's the idea. Hopefully it'll work out. We're going to see. I'm going to go ahead and get to it. Alright, so the two rails will go on the sides like that. Just got to grab a marker out of here and make our dots in there where we need them. Alright guys, so our next step in the process is to make the bar to mount on the top side, towards the top side of the radiator at the back of the car. We'll go ahead and cut that now. We got it set up in the saw here, measured out to where we think we need it. So we'll go ahead and cut it, and then we got to cut a couple of pieces off some angle for the other ends. Alright guys, you can see we got the two bars made. We test fit our fuel cell in there on top. Basically, the back side is going to weld like right in here, of our rails that the fuel cell mounts to. They'll weld pretty much directly to this. We'll come off of here with some stands, probably 2.5 inches I'm thinking. May end up spacing it up off the top one too. I just kind of need to actually throw it back down in there and look at it one more time. We're going to figure that part out. We're going to make the stands to go underneath the rails here, and then that'll lock that whole subframe assembly together. Other than that, we got to come off of this front side down here from that tube that's right there. Somewhere you can see it. It's right there. And we got to bring over to this mounting location here 2 tabs, 2 little, probably have to make some triangulated bars or something to come out there for that. That should be about it. Then we'll just have to mount it to the car one last time. Radiator will be done, mounted in position. Then we actually got to come back and make some modifications to the radiator so that the plumbing and everything can fit up like it needs to. Alright, let's get it. Alright guys, so one thing it's doing is it's cutting more off the top edge of the hole saw than the bottom. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that edge is pulled back a little further. So what we're going to do, I'm going to come back in here, I'm going to knock these bolts out of this pad and actually put a washer under it to shim it up just a hair so it'll bring that bottom up into it more, and we should be, you know, good to go and get a good consistent cut at that point. Okay, so that picked it up and got it just a hair overshot it, but it's better than it was. Those are about I'm guessing about a 1/16 of an inch thick washers. I could probably find some thinner like fender washers or something and be better. So I might end up doing that in the future, but it'll work for now. We're gonna keep going. Alright, so yeah, the fuel cell is looking good back here. Just made our 2 little pieces of pipe to go down from our rails to the bottom bar, and then the back side of it over here will just sit on the bar where it's already raised up above the other one. We'll be welding it to here, and then that bar will get welded in down there to the other bar, kind of make one solid subframe structure for the tank and the radiator to sit on. I was originally going to put it right in the middle, but I kind of like setting it off to the passenger side to offset the weight a little bit. Plus we'll need room for probably some kind of tank over here for our radiator setup. But yeah, happy with that. So we're going to go ahead out here and move to this. I got to come through and clearance a little bit more kind of up in this area. Get rid of a little bit more of that we don't need. And then we'll be able to make our tabs from here to this bar that's on the inside that we just made too. So we're going to keep at it, guys. Let's get it. Okay guys, so the first thing we got to do is cut a 45 on the end of this so that we can measure it out, see how much length we need. I don't want to make the tabs any longer than they need to be on the radiator. So I'm going to cut these, and then I'll get a measurement for how long I need to get 2 of them on that bracket. You'll see what I'm talking about in just a second. So we got that. Measure across the face. 1.5 inches is what we're going to need per side. So we'll need 3 inches. A 3-inch piece total for each bracket, and then what we'll do is we'll actually 45 that down to where it's smaller also. Alright, so we got our subframe setup done here. Got our fuel cell mounted to the top, radiator hangs off the bottom like we planned. Pretty happy with the way everything turned out there. We're going to end up making some expansion tank and then a reservoir, both to sit up over top of the radiator here, and we'll figure out a way to connect it and mount everything, probably using the same subframe but just mount it up above it. I need it to be higher. I want it to be the highest point in the system, so that should work out pretty good right there. We'll just be able to come up as high as we need it to go in relation to the front where the engine is. We got the rear exit exhaust here in the middle, and I really am a fan of that. I was hoping to be able to keep it. We will end up having about an inch or two of clearance between that and the radiator fans, so we should be in good shape. The next step is going to be to pull the radiator back out, and then we got to come over here. I have to make a way for this to mount up under there. Probably just going, I'm debating between welding the pump straight to the side of the tank or using this kind of fitting setup we have here and welding this bung into it. But that'll be the next step in that process. Like I said, I'm pretty happy with the way everything's turning out. Next video will be modding the radiator itself. We got to take and cut the stock hose barbs off, move them to a couple different locations. Like I said, we got to figure out how to get that water pump to mount up whichever way it fits the best in there is probably how I have to do it. I really don't want to go straight to the radiator with it because I'd like to be able to take it off and swap it out easy in case we have an issue. But we'll see how it fits. We see how we got to package it. So I already got the lines made, probably like 90% made up underneath the car from the aluminum tubing, and then we just got to figure out the last little bit on the connection side up here on the front of the engine. Outside of that, guys, I'm really happy with the way everything's coming along. I'm glad y'all are following along with the channel. I appreciate all the support everybody's been giving us. Slide over and check us out at the website. We got hats, hoodies, t-shirts. Every little bit goes a long ways to helping us. We got a small budget here, so again, I just appreciate you guys, and we'll catch you on the next one. God bless.